The love story of two teachers. Ma'am Eliza is one of the most respected and admired teachers at a public school in the town of San Mateo. She is known for her dedication and love for teaching. From a young age, she knew that teaching was her calling. There is always a spark in her eyes when she teaches, and every student of hers is like her own child, whom she raises and guides along the right path. However, behind her cheerful face, there is a sadness that she hides well. At 34, she is still unmarried and has no boyfriend. She often says to her colleagues, "I'm not in a hurry. Maybe it will come when it's meant to be." But in reality, she feels the loneliness every quiet night in her rented apartment. A new school year began, and on the first day of class, she greeted the new faces of her students. But one person who wasn't a student caught her attention. It was Sir Raphael, the new science teacher, who shared the same dedication to teaching. He was tall, intelligent, and had a simple charisma that she couldn't quite explain. They locked eyes in the faculty room, and for the first time in a long while, Eliza felt something she hadn't felt in years, tingling excitement. "Good morning, Ma'am Eliza," Raphael greeted with a smile. "Good morning, Sir Raphael. Welcome to San Mateo High School," she replied, trying to calm her racing heart. From then on, their meetings became more frequent during faculty meetings, lunch breaks, and even while organizing school programs. They gradually got to know each other. Eliza learned that Raphael had just moved from Manila, leaving behind the city life to find a quieter environment. Raphael, on the other hand, was impressed by Eliza's teaching skills and her genuine concern for her students. Before long, their simple greetings turned into longer conversations, and they ended up going for dinner together after class. One evening, while they were having dinner at a local eatery near the school, Raphael asked, "Ma'am Eliza, why don't you have a boyfriend? I don't believe there's no one who likes you." Eliza smiled, but behind that smile was a sadness she couldn't hide. "Maybe because I'm too busy with work. And not everything needs to be rushed, right?" Raphael sighed. "I admire you. But you know, Ma'am Eliza, sometimes we need to make time for ourselves. Work is important, but it's also important to have someone there for us." Eliza didn't know why, but those words seemed to touch her heart. After that night, something changed between Eliza and Raphael. Their conversations became more frequent, and even a simple "good morning" from Raphael brought a special joy to Eliza. She couldn't explain it, but her day seemed to get lighter every time she saw him. One day, while Eliza was busy checking papers in the faculty room, Raphael approached with a cup of coffee in his hand. "For you, Ma'am Eliza. You seem like you need this," he said, handing her the warm cup. Eliza was surprised, but she couldn't help but smile. "Wow, thank you, Sir Raphael. What's the occasion you're being extra kind today?" she asked teasingly. "Nothing. I just wanted to be kind to you," Raphael replied with a smile. From that moment, little gestures from Raphael became part of Eliza's day, like a cup of coffee, offering help when needed, or asking simple questions like, "Have you eaten?" Despite their busy schedules, Raphael made time for Eliza, something she didn't expect, but slowly began to look forward to. One afternoon, as they were walking home, a heavy rain suddenly poured down. They ran to a waiting shed to take shelter. Laughter filled the area as they fixed their wet clothes. "Oh no, I'm going to be late for my plans," Raphael said, glancing at the darkening sky. "Where are you going?" Eliza asked. "I need to buy something in town, but I don't think I can make it with this rain." "You can do that tomorrow. What's more important is that you don't get soaked," Eliza said, concerned. Raphael looked at Eliza and smiled. "Thank you, Ma'am Eliza. You really take care of people. I don't know how you find the time for everything." Eliza didn't know how to respond. She could feel there was something deeper in Raphael's gaze, but she wasn't ready to face it yet. The next day, Eliza was surprised to find a small box on her desk. She opened it and found a small apple-shaped keychain with the words "Best Teacher" engraved on it. Along with it was a small note. "For the best teacher, Raphael." Eliza couldn't help but smile. That simple yet heartfelt gesture warmed her heart. Despite her carefulness, she felt that a new door was slowly opening in her life, one that led to the possibility of love. Weeks passed quickly, and Eliza and Raphael's bond grew stronger. They were often together, planning lessons, organizing school events, and even doing simple things like preparing lunch in the faculty room. Their colleagues could clearly see the special connection they shared, but between the two of them, there was still a shyness that kept them from openly admitting it. One Friday afternoon, Raphael invited Eliza to join him at a small art exhibit in town. Though not used to such events, Eliza agreed. As they walked through the exhibit, she was amazed by the paintings depicting various emotions: happiness, sadness, and love. As they stood in front of a painting of two people holding hands in the rain, Raphael suddenly spoke. "Ma'am Eliza, do you know what this painting reminds me of?" Eliza turned to look at him. "What?" "The day we got caught in the rain. I'll never forget that. It was like there was a special joy in that simple moment." Eliza stayed quiet. She could feel the weight of Raphael's words, but she didn't know how to respond. It seemed like Raphael could read her mind, so he continued. "You know, Eliza," he said, now calling her by her first name. "Ever since I came here, I feel like I found the place where I'm supposed to be. And one of the reasons for that is you." Eliza was shocked. She hadn't expected such a direct confession from Raphael. "Sir Raphael." "Just Raphael," he replied, smiling. "I can't keep this to myself anymore. I like you, Eliza. And I'm not saying this to pressure you, I just want you to know." Eliza couldn't speak. She felt the heat rise to her face and her heart beat faster. Finally, she found her voice. "Raphael, I don't know what to say. But thank you. Thank you for making me feel like someone truly cares about me despite everything." Raphael smiled, but in his eyes there was hope. "I'm not rushing you, Eliza. I'm willing to wait. The important thing is, you know how I feel." That night, as Eliza sat on her bed, she reflected on what had happened. Despite her nervousness and doubts, she couldn't deny that a part of her heart was shouting for joy. The next day, Eliza returned to school with a heavy heart. It wasn't because she was sad, but because she didn't know how to face Raphael after her confession. She wanted to be true to herself, but she was afraid of getting hurt or ruining the beautiful friendship they had built. "Good morning, Ma'am Eliza," Raphael greeted cheerfully when he saw her in the faculty room. "Good morning, Sir Raphael," she replied, trying to hide the excitement she felt. Their interactions remained normal throughout the day, but they both knew something was unsaid. There was an air of longing and hesitation between them. In the afternoon, while Eliza was organizing her things on her desk, Raphael suddenly approached. "Eliza, do you have plans after class?" She was surprised, but didn't let it show. "Nothing in particular. Why?" "Can I invite you somewhere? I want to show you something." Eliza thought for a moment, but couldn't turn Raphael down. "Okay. What time should we leave?" "I'll wait for you at the gate after class," Raphael replied, his smile mysterious. In the afternoon, Raphael picked her up at the gate. Riding his motorbike, he took her to a quiet place on the outskirts of town near the river. There was a small hut surrounded by trees and wide grass fields. They got off the bike, and Raphael pointed to the place. "I come here often when I need to think," he said. "It's peaceful, like being far away from the world." "It's beautiful here," Eliza replied, gazing at the calm flow of the river. They sat on a long wooden bench. A brief silence enveloped them, but it wasn't awkward. Instead, it felt like their connection deepened in those moments. "Eliza," Raphael suddenly spoke, breaking the silence. "I didn't bring you here to pressure you or force anything. I just want you to get to know me more." Eliza looked at him. "Raphael, I know you're sincere, and I want you to know I'm not rejecting your feelings." Raphael was surprised by her response. "Does that mean—" "What I mean, Raphael," Eliza said with a slight smile, "is that I'm willing to give myself a chance in this possibility." Raphael couldn't help but smile. Thank you, Eliza. You have no idea how happy this makes me. As they sat under the setting sun, they both felt the beginning of something new. For Eliza, it was the first time she put herself before her fears. For Raphael, it was the first time he felt like he had found a home in someone's heart. From that day on, Eliza and Raphael grew closer. They didn't shout about their budding relationship, but it was obvious to their colleagues that something special was developing between them. They often had lunch together, planned school activities side by side, and exchanged simple smiles that seemed to say things that didn't need to be said. One evening, after a long day of work, they decided to meet at a small coffee shop near town. There, they had a deeper conversation about their lives. You know, Raphael, Eliza began, holding her coffee cup. I've been afraid to let myself love for a long time. I've always been busy with work, thinking about the students, and I forget about myself. But when you came, it felt like everything suddenly changed. Raphael smiled. You know, Eliza, we're the same. I left Manila not just because I wanted a quiet life, but because I wanted to start over. I got tired of the fast pace of the city and it felt like there was no real connection there. But when I met you, I felt like this is where I'm meant to be. They sat in silence, looking at each other. No more words were needed. Their gazes spoke volumes about how they felt. Not long after, their relationship faced its first challenge. During a faculty meeting, the principal mentioned a huge opportunity for Raphael to teach at a prestigious school in Manila. His colleagues were thrilled for him, but Eliza, though happy for Raphael, couldn't deny the unease in her heart. That night, they talked about it. Eliza, I haven't accepted the offer yet, Raphael said, holding her hand. But why not accept it? This is a great opportunity for you, Eliza replied, and trying to hide her sadness. Because you are more important to me than any job, Raphael answered without hesitation. Eliza was stunned. She felt the sincerity in Raphael's voice, but she didn't want to be the reason he gave up on his dreams. Raphael, I don't want to stand in the way of your dreams. If this makes you happy, I'll support you. Raphael smiled. My dream, Eliza, is not just about work. My dream is to be with you. But if you want me to accept this, trust me. My feelings won't change no matter where I go. That night, they both realized that love wasn't just about being together all the time. It was also about trust and supporting each other, even if it meant temporary separation. The days passed, and Raphael made his decision. He would accept the job in Manila, but he promised to come back every weekend to be with Eliza. It wasn't easy, but Eliza agreed. It wouldn't be simple, but for both of them, their love was strong enough to overcome any challenge. As Raphael was leaving for Manila, he handed Eliza a small notebook. I'll write down all the stories of my days without you. So even if we're apart, it will feel like you're still with me. Eliza watched Raphael as the bus he was on drove away. In her heart, she felt they were beginning a new chapter, one filled with hope, trust, and a love deeper than ever. The first weeks of Raphael's absence were not easy for Eliza. Although she was used to being alone, the emptiness without Raphael in her daily life was different. She was used to having him with her during lunch breaks, helping with school tasks, and sharing quiet conversations in the faculty room. But they didn't let distance get in the way. Every night, Raphael would call Eliza. Often he would share stories of his new students and the challenges of teaching in Manila. Eliza, on the other hand, would tell him about what was happening at San Mateo High, especially the students who always brightened her day. Despite the distance, they felt each other's presence. One Saturday, Raphael came home for their first meeting after almost a month. He took Eliza to their favorite hut by the river. There, as they sat under the shade of the trees, Raphael handed Eliza the notebook he had given her. Read it, he said, smiling. Eliza opened the notebook and began reading Raphael's writings. Day 1. It's strange. I don't see you in the faculty room. I can't hear your laughter as you talk about the students, but I tell myself that one day I'll return to San Mateo and see you again. Day 10. Life here in Manila is tough. The world moves so fast, but time seems slower when I'm not with you. It's boring, but I tell myself that this is how we'll grow stronger. Day 25. It's comforting to think that even though you're far away, I can still feel you with me. Thank you for calling me every night. You're my break from the chaotic world of Manila. As Eliza read each page, she couldn't hold back her tears. She could feel every word, every emotion Raphael had written for her. As I've said before, Eliza, Raphael said, my dream is to be with you. And no matter how hard it gets, I want you to know that I won't give up. Eliza smiled, wiping away the tears from her cheeks. Raphael, thank you. I don't know how I could have done all this without you, but just like you, I won't give up. As their relationship continued, they went through many challenges. There were times when Raphael couldn't come home because of work, and there were days when Eliza was overwhelmed with school duties. But despite everything, they remained strong. One day, while Raphael was in San Mateo, he held Eliza's hand and spoke seriously. Eliza, I can't imagine my life without you. I want to tell the world how much I love you. Eliza was shocked. What do you mean, Raphael? She asked. Raphael smiled, then took out a small box from his pocket. He opened it, and inside was a simple ring with a small gemstone. Eliza, are you ready to start a new chapter? I want to be with you, here in San Mateo, or anywhere else. Tears fell from Eliza's eyes, but this time, they were tears of joy. Yes, Raphael, I'm ready. From the very beginning, I knew you were the one I've been waiting for. As they embraced under the sky of San Mateo, they knew their love was no longer just a simple story of two teachers. It was proof that despite distance and challenges, true love will always prevail.